The book of Bantorra is in a few words great ideas ruined by terrible storytelling. I liked the themes and the development of the cast while getting alienated by illogical actions and unsupported line of events. Very good on a theoretical level and a nice one-time watch, but it's a plain mess when seen in action or a repeat. Characters and backgrounds have a pleasing amount of details and colors, with rather smooth animation and cool visual effects that blend well with the action. Very nice looking if you don't think much about it, but if you do, everything falls apart. For example, each armed librarian wears clothes that hardly fit the setting. The world they live in is like England of the mid-20th century. So what does a group of people like a cowgirl, a Hindu girl, a masked ninja, and a woman running around without a bra are doing in here? They feel like they popped out of an RPG. It's a minor issue to be bothered by a blend of real history with magic in a world where the supernatural overlaps technology. It's also immersion breaking when they do not justify why they are wearing the same clothes almost all the time when they otherwise have the power to look any way they like with a spell. Imagine a woman dressed all the time as a maid in the library, going to battle, still dressed as a maid. It feels lazy and makes the world seem artificial. Same goes with the pretty girls always wearing revealing clothes. It's obviously fan service thrown in there without an in-story excuse and constantly telling you not to give a damn about the show. As weird as it sounds, clothes are part of aesthetics and the lack of a variety takes away credibility. Music themes are good, despite the depressing tone, they fit the mood. Voice acting is okay, excluding the squeaky pinch all young and naive girls have, I don't fancy that. What I really didn't like were the super long talks, a classic mistake of direct adaptation from light novels to screen. They went overboard with the things a monologue can achieve, turning the plot into mostly a dribble of long philosophical monologues instead of actions. It wouldn't be that much of an issue if the dialogues were great and excused, but they are ridiculously cryptic, symbolic, and in the long run unneeded to the point of confusing you for no reason. This is obviously done to make the series feel more mystical, and it works up to a point, but since the story is one big mess of out-of-place events, all that talking is actually quite superficial despite the really psychological and philosophical issues it encompasses. Keeping it more simple and working on the line of events would produce a far better product. The entire story is made to be a mockery of ideals and high expectations, which I liked, with a concept that is quite uncommon. It takes place in a world where the dead turn into stone tablets, simply called books. Anyone touching a book can access the memories of the dead and learn from their life experiences. It sounds awesome and makes you expect a lot, only to be greatly disappointed with the execution since it makes no sense whatsoever. The first 3 episodes are used as an introduction to the setting, and it's achieved through the lazy method of characters blabbering for several minutes, explaining things that normally have no reason to mention, as they are all self-explained on their part. Force-feeding the viewer with things like, "Hi, I am this, and I do that, and that one works like that, and the other one is like that." The same as treating him like an idiot. These episodes are also badly paced since you are thrown in this weird setting right in the middle of a war, followed by a line of flashbacks explaining the story of each individual. The mid-episodes are the peak of interest since they are fleshing out characters and setting. They are still presented in a disjointed manner, since the non-linear narrative constantly jumps in space and time at random intervals to further confuse you even more. This eventually leads to the final episodes, which are taking place in the present and serve as the final confrontation of... I have no idea. Why exactly is everybody fighting the last arc again? I see their motives, their thoughts, their strategies, and it makes no sense. Yes, you can always read a wiki about what exactly is going on, but that only further proves how badly written the series is if you can only get it with external aid. Something I really liked is how most characters receive a great amount of focus in the form of the aforementioned flashbacks during the mid-episodes. You see the effort in fleshing them out, and you are made to care about them. Setting aside their stupid costumes, the characterization is great. Not everyone gets it though, that cowgirl remains just a cowgirl with huge tits, and too bad everything is ruined by the ridiculous plot. Because of all the issues this show has, there is no replay value. No one would be willing to suffer through all this crap again, unless he's a really big masochist. There is also not much enjoyment to get out of it unless you are one of those people who just want to overthink the themes and don't give a damn about the plot making sense. Very bad and overall, not recommended as anything more than yet another proof of light novel sucking ass.